Swing freely, which is actually the subtitle to today's video because I didn't have enough room on this piece of painter's tape to say, play it where it lies. But that's really the primary title of today's Motivational Monday video. Welcome. My name's Bill DeWeese. I am a professional voice actor, voice talent. I've been doing this for a living for a long time, since 2006. I'm also a voiceover coach, voiceover demo producer. I'm the author of a couple of voiceover books. My latest is Get Paid Using Your Voice, Get Found, Get Heard, and Get Hired. And I've got a link to the digital download. It's a little less than $10 below in the description. So if you're interested in getting the roadmap, the overview, the 30,000-foot view, this is it. So check it out below. Did you guys have a good weekend? I hope so. Hope you had a good weekend. I was busy producing demos, so I didn't get to be out as much as I would like to, but that's okay. That's a good thing to be working on. And I've got some more in the queue as well. So that's always a very exciting thing. And I see, if you haven't checked in yet on the live chat, make sure you do so. Our live chat is rocking and rolling right now. And once we talk here for a few minutes, and what we do every morning my time, but at this time every day, and we do have a global audience. So wherever you're at, welcome. Love it when you check in on the live chat, by the way. But it's just to share a thought, a tip, a trick, a strategy, some motivation to help you to move forward and make money or make more money in voiceover. That's what this is all about. And you may have guessed already from the title of today's video that I'm going to use a golf analogy. I love marathon analogies and golf analogies. I have learned so much from my days of distance running and my attempts at playing golf. Learned a lot of things. It's amazing how much wisdom can be gleaned from something like that. There's a term in golf, and for those of you, and even if you don't play golf, I think this will make perfectly good sense for you. There's a term in golf, or it's a rule, but it's a saying. And it's called "play it where it lies." There's a rule in golf that wherever you hit the ball, wherever it lands, in whatever circumstance or situation that ball lands in, you play it where it lies. In other words, it may be in a sand trap. It may be behind a giant tree trunk, which is between you and the hole that you're playing for. It could be any number of things. It could fall into like a divot in the ground. There's a number of things where it would be a less than ideal situation. So in other words, if you're a golfer like me, you're always playing from really weird situations. If you're a good golfer, you might be playing out in the fairway where the grass, everything's even and it's nice trimmed grass and the ball's set up perfectly for you. But wherever you hit the ball, wherever it lands, that's where you play it. You play it as it lies. You can't pick it up and move it to improve your situation. What a great analogy for life. That's life. We've got to play it where it lies because all kinds of weird stuff happens along the way. Or maybe it's not even weird stuff. Maybe it's just, things that get in the way of you moving forward with your voiceover career or even getting started. And I hear it all the time in emails that I receive. There's and we could all come up with 1,001 reasons why we shouldn't or can't do voiceover or why we haven't succeeded in voiceover. There's countless reasons we can come up with because we're always, it seems, playing from a bad lie. It could be anything from, I hate my voice, to it, or maybe, I've got a full-time job and I've only got 15 minutes a day to give to voiceover. It doesn't matter. You play it where it lies. I mean, we can wish all day long for different circumstances, but wishing doesn't change circumstances. It only creates misery and frustration and pain. But an acceptance of where we are. Now, I'm starting to wax a bit philosophical here, but it's so true. If we can learn to accept the situation that we're in, be it less than perfect, aren't most of our situations less than perfect? But if we accept it as it is and play it where it lies and start to use our brain power, our imagination, our creativity, whatever motivation we have toward where we're at, instead of wishing where we were, we could get so much more accomplished. So I guess my encouragement for you today is to accept, first of all, the fact that wherever the ball lies for you right now is where it lies. The old saying, it is what it is. It is. There's so much wisdom there. It is what it is. And we can't change. There's a few things we can control in our own life. We can control our own behavior and our own actions. Outside of that, we have very little control of what happens in the world. But if we can accept things as they are and begin to use our brain power, our creativity, our will to do the best we can within those circumstances, amazing things happen. As a matter of fact, some of the very best shots that I've ever hit in golf, some of the most beautiful shots that made me think for just a glimpse of just a mere fraction of a second that I too could become a professional golfer, which of course is a pipe dream. But there have been a few instances, my best shots, I mean, unbelievably great shots came from the most incredibly bad lies. And you know why that is? And this is my philosophy on that. This is my theory. Here's why I think that is because I think there's when we finally let go and realize this is my circumstance and we quit fighting it. This is a bad lie and there's nothing I can do about it. And you know what? What do I have to lose? I'm going to swing freely. And that's where the subtitle "Swing Freely" comes in. Sometimes when you're in the worst circumstance and you don't even have high expectations. So you know what the heck? I'm just going to do it I'm just going to go for it. And when I swing freely, sometimes I hit the most unbelievable shots, even from the most unbelievably bad lies. That applies to your voiceover business, but it also applies to your voiceover over performance. And I know I've shared this before, but I'm going to say it again, true story, because it relates so well to this. I'll never forget, and this has happened more than once, but I was doing, it was a session, it was for a pharmaceutical drug commercial. And the studio I was working with was I live outside of Chicago, but the studio was in Chicago, so we were doing like a Source Connect session. And when I jumped on the line, the engineer was on and said, "Okay, let's get a level. Just read through the commercial." It was like a 15-second commercial. "I'll just get a level for you." So I just, without thinking, I just read the script. It was what we call, throwing it away. I was swinging freely. I just read it just so he could get a level. Great, we're done. So the director comes on and she says, "Okay, well, give me this. Let's start. Why don't you give me your first take?" So I read it, and her response is, "No, no, no. I want you to read it like you did when you were just reading for a level for the engineer." And I thought, "Whoa, it was a throwaway. I was swinging freely. I didn't care. I wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't trying to do well. I just did, what came naturally." There's a lesson in there. I want you to think about that today. Swinging freely in your business and in your performance can take you, even when your circumstances suck. And oftentimes they will. For me, for you, for everyone. But if you can swing freely through all of that, some of the most amazing things, some of the most unexpected and unimaginable things will happen. So be thinking about that. And this week, focus on, play aware of lies. Doesn't matter how bad it is. Everybody's got bad circumstances, but swing freely. Before we check in, see what's happening on the live chat, got a big thing coming up 1 week from tomorrow night. It's the next live virtual event with your friend, Rob Reider. What is this about? This is about adding another spoke to your marketing wheel, another way, another income stream in your voiceover business, live announcing. Have you ever thought about that, being an MC or a live announcer for events? It is a thing. And there's more opportunities than you probably even realize. And let me talk to you just a little bit about Rob, if I may. Rob has an extensive background in public performance. For those of you who were in Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, Cleveland, Indianapolis, Lexington, Kentucky, Charleston, West Virginia, maybe one or two other markets, you may remember a TV show that aired live in the 70s and 80s on the NBC affiliates in those markets. It was called The Bob Braun Show. Rob was a daily part of that program. He was like a co-host, musician, and singer, all that kind of stuff. And so if the name sounds familiar, that's where you may remember Rob from. This is back in the 70s and 80s. Well, following that, Rob really got into aviation. Loved, he's a pilot, has his own plane, loves to fly. He volunteered at the Dayton Air Show back in the early 80s. I think it was the early 80s. I'm sure Rob can correct me on the exact year, but it was back in the 80s. He volunteered to work the show and then did like they asked him to announce the show and he did it. Anyhow, he loved it so much, he did so well that he grew that into a business where he has become, over the past 40 years, one of the most in-demand and highly revered air show announcers in the country. And he turned that volunteer gig, a passion, into a full-time income, really working part-time because it was a weekend gig, and not every weekend at that, traveling out, flying out, he still does it, flying around the country. Although now he's transitioning into full-time voiceover. He keeps a full schedule of audiobooks, particularly. He's going to be teaching on this topic, on how to find the work where those opportunities are, the actual performance part of it, the things you need to understand. But this, for some of you guys, this is like the perfect thing to add to your voiceover repertoire. There's some of you haven't even thought about it, that this could be a wonderful thing. Now, I mentioned Rob's an air show announcer. I'm not saying you need to be an air show announcer. What I'm saying is there's lots of opportunities. I remember years ago being hired, so not even something I thought about, but like a local dance studio, with kids. They reached out to me, somehow got my name. They reached out to me, and over a period of years, I was like the announcer for their annual recital. Like they rented out a big high school auditorium. All the parents came in, and I got paid nicely for doing that. There are opportunities where you live right now to do this. And Rob's going to teach you all the things that you need to know. And again, that's happening 1 week from tomorrow night. It starts at 8 Eastern time. The class will go for about an hour and a half, a lot of Q&A. We limit the class to 100 people so that we can make sure we have plenty of Q&A for you. But also, Rob's prepared a couple of bonus videos where you can see video behind the scenes as he's working and how he prepares for jobs and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be it's different in a very exciting way. This is something we've not done before. This is something you don't hear a lot of people talk about. This can be an amazing new spoke to the marketing wheel of your voiceover business. So make sure you get signed up for that class. The link is below in the description. So let's check in and see what we've got going on in the live stream this morning. And again, let me just, in case you haven't been around long enough to know this, I do Q&As on Fridays. So if you've got a question, make sure you make a note of it and bring it back on Fridays. I devote Fridays to Q&A. But what I'd like to do quickly here this morning is go through and just acknowledge you guys, because I appreciate you being here. Emma, who was first in this morning from Huntington Beach. We've got John in Rhinebeck, New York. Hey, John. Ethan, good morning to you in Toronto. Jason in Newport, Oregon. Nephi in Knoxville, Aaron, ready for the weekend from Columbia, Missouri, Alex in Utah, Marla in Texas. Hey, Viv, how are you doing? Good morning in New Jersey. And by the way, Vivian is somebody whose demo I just produced. Vivian, you'll be getting that demo here very shortly. Good work, by the way, really nice. And there's nothing more exciting than hearing a freshly produced demo, because when you record it, I mean, it's just your voice. But when it's fully produced, it's like, whoa, that's me. It's not unusual for somebody to say, is that really you? Only because they're not used to hearing you or me fully produced with all of the elements and all of the processing and all the cool stuff. Anyhow, Viv, you're going to love that one. Jerry, Dallas, Texas, what's up? Terry, good morning to you in Fallston, Maryland. Corey in Wisconsin. Wayne in the great state of Washington. Sandra, Dallas, Fort Worth. Mark in Montreal. We've got Robert from the Bronx in New York. Jason in Nebraska. Shaney in Macomb, Illinois. Finally got my first narration gig. Congratulations, Shaney. Way to go. Love it. Megan, good morning to you. It looks to be sunny and hot today in Manitoba, Canada. Be blessed, my friends. Trey in Cajun country. Almost said Cancun. Cajun. Not even close. No cigar there. Max, greetings to you in Las Vegas. Scotty, seeking a low handicap and ready to yell 4 in Brookings, South Dakota. Jason, good morning to you in Dedham Springs, Louisiana. Jolie, by the way, Jolie, who was one of the many folks here on the live stream this morning who attended my weekend event on Saturday and Sunday. And Jolie brought some marvelous Michigan cherry coffee beans. And Jolie, I had to finish off some beans I already had in the grinder, but today I opened up one of those packs of beans that you brought. And that's what I'm having this morning. And I got to tell you, this is really good. It's not the Meyer, but I'll tell you what, I think this, and I wish I should have got the name of the brand. And if you want me to do that, I'll be glad to bring that up in a later thing. But I hadn't seen the brand before, so I'm guessing it's a local roaster to where you live there in Minnesota. But it smells and tastes more like fresh cherries. It's really good. Thank you again, Jolie. Appreciate that. Hey, James, what's up? Patty, good morning. Chris in Lakeville, Minnesota. JR in cloudy Austin, Texas. Happy Motivational Monday to you. Prakar, how are you doing? Sandra in Old Worthington, Ohio. Jolie, thank you, Jolie. Sarai, good morning from El Paso. Rained all last night and still going this morning. Thank goodness for a break from the heat. Thanks for the advice, Bill. I had a question about checking out demos. In terms of like doing consulting, coaching, evaluating, all that kind of stuff, you can reach out to Mallory@BillDeweese.com. Rebecca, oh man, Becky, I love this. Find a way, not an excuse. Yes, it's amazing where the questions we ask ourselves is where we place our energy. And when we ask the right questions, instead of why is this happening to me, if we can start saying, how can I work with this situation? It's amazing how our creativity can come up with some great solutions. Heather, good morning to you in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Dark skies threaten rain in the typically sunny South. We've got so many meteorologists on the live stream in the morning. It's absolutely amazing. Sarai says this was good timing because I was starting to feel discouraged about not having as much time as when I started. But yeah, it's everybody struggles with that to some degree at different points of their career. Andrew, good morning to you in Latvia. Um, I should say good afternoon to you, Andrea, or Andrew in Latvia. We've got Dave checking in from New York City. Heather, swing freely. Love this. Thank you. Hey, Andrew, cheers from Cancun. There's my Cancun connection right there. Love it. John says the 1980 Masters, I was a $50 a day CBS Sports valet parking coordinator. Swing freely. Love it. John, back in the 80s, I did some live golf reporting. It was local in Columbus, Ohio for the Memorial Tournament there at Jack's course. It was not a CBS gig, but it was fun. Very cool though. Nice, 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 nice. Love that. I bet you had some interesting encounters there. Let's see here. Joel, hello to you in Warsaw, Indiana. Melissa, what's up in San Diego? And Shani says, I remember something you said way back. Just simply try. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes that's all we have to do is just try. Most people never try. They have 101 reasons why. Usually it revolves around fear. But don't forget, play it where it lies and swing freely, my friends. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow morning.